Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. It's a real blessing to be here with you. As promised last week, I intend to devote today's live stream to discussing how the infinite way differs from some other spiritual and metaphysical teachings. But before I start, shall we begin with a short meditation? I invite you to close your eyes now and be still with me just for a few moments. At the end of the meditation, I'll say thank you, and then we'll start the discussion. So let's be still. Thank you. Hello to those who have joined. Hello, Glorian, Donna, and Saz. It's a real blessing to be here with you today. We're discussing today the differences between the infinite way and other spiritual and metaphysical teachings. But before I start by making comparisons, I'm going to begin by reading what Joel has to say about spiritual healing according to the infinite way. And this is from Conscious Union with God. And I'm reading from chapter 1, The Basis of Spiritual Healing. It's a fairly long quote, but I'll read it slowly because all of it's relevant. So Joel says, "There is only one life, one consciousness, one soul. But that one is the consciousness of you and the consciousness of me. That is why we do not have to try to reach anyone. When we are in this conscious oneness, we become so much a part of one another that what one is thinking about truth or God, the other is hearing. But no transference of thought is involved and should not be so construed. We are not one in our humanhood. We are one in the Christ, and all that is being imparted is the divine idea flowing in consciousness." Hello to those who have joined us. What I've just read really captures the principle of spiritual healing in the infinite way in a nutshell. Does anyone have any comments or questions or anything they'd like to share at this point? Well, prior to encountering Joel's teachings, I studied metaphysics and other spiritual teachings, including Christian Science, Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind, the whole New Thought movement, etc. And I found it very confusing because Joel uses exactly the same words, but with different meanings. So, for example, soul, mind, life, consciousness. And I came across this sheet, and I'm going to share it with you now, which explains exactly how Joel differs from other teachings. And if anyone would like a copy of this, I'll read it out to you. You're welcome to email me. My email address is in the description. Okay, let me explain to you how this sheet is laid out. On the left-hand column, we have metaphysical movements and their thinking. And on the right-hand column, we have metamystical teachings. So the examples given of Christian Science for metaphysical and the infinite way for metamystical. So we begin with, there's 6 points. The first one, for example, Christian Science. Christian Science reveals, in a measure, the unreal nature of error. The infinite way, however, goes the next step of adding the unreal nature of good. Then, second point, Christian Science is dedicated to overcoming evil in human conditions. The infinite way, however, is dedicated to the overcoming of material sense, whether good or evil. Number 3, Christian Science recognizes the non-power of evil in human conditions. And this is such an important distinction. The infinite way recognizes no power at all in the visible. Number 4, Christian Science recognizes you as man, an effect from God. The infinite way, however, recognizes you in your spiritual identity as cause. Christian Science denies matter. The infinite way acknowledges matter as form, the essence of which is spirit. You see, they're really important distinctions. And the final point, Christian Science calls mind God. The infinite way recognizes mind, i.e. human mind, as the instrument for the I of our being, which is God. I think that's summed it up so beautifully. You may well know that Joel was originally a Christian Science practitioner, and then he stepped away to establish the infinite way, disseminating the real core mystical truth of what Mary Baker Eddy had been imparting. And I just want to read you the final sentence on this sheet, which says, Joel Goldsmith said, Christian Science's great contribution to the world was protective work, and in the early days was the main reason for Christian Science's growth. But in the infinite way, we don't look to God power to overcome other powers. And this is so key to Joel's teachings. And we've discussed what protection, for example, means in the infinite way in a previous live stream, and I'll link that in the description. I'll take a pause for a moment. If anyone has any questions or comments or anything they'd like to share, please feel free to do so. Glorian's left a comment. Thank you, Glorian. Beautiful. Thank you for being here. I think in that case, I'm going to close by reading an excerpt from Joel's 1959 Hawaiian Village Closed Class. And as you can see, I've got a very old copy, probably the original transcript. But again, this is so relevant and so important to what we're discussing. So Joel says, and this is verbatim from the class, as time passed, there came into my experience in 1940 a message, delivered within, to the effect that I must learn of the impersonal Christ and of the impersonal healing. Some few things did reveal themselves to me, and the most important was, All of these forms of metaphysics that taught that the error in the individual thought is responsible for their ills was erroneous. Every teaching that says your wrong thinking is responsible for your ills is incorrect. Any teaching that says there is a specific mental cause for a specific physical disease is all wrong. And remember, this was very much part of the teaching of which I was then a practitioner. And he means a Christian Science practitioner. At the same time, he goes on, it was revealed to me that these teachings were wrong. This was revealed to me as being right. All evil, all error has its source in the universal mind, the universal carnal mind or mortal mind. We as individuals only suffered in proportion as we admitted those mental impositions into our thought, and that we did it ignorantly. By virtue of having been born into this world, we were the victims of a universal source of error or evil. Naturally, in all of my healing work, Joel says, I worked from the standpoint then that no individual was responsible for the sin or disease or the lack or limitation from which they suffered, except in the sense that they didn't know how to protect themselves from these universal beliefs. And when he realized that, it really transformed the healings that he was experiencing. Amen, says Gloria, thank you. These are really profound subjects, and I feel that I've rather raced through it, really. So if you'd like me to elaborate on anything I've covered today, or anything I've covered in any of my live streams, please do let me know. But for now, shall we close with a very short meditation? Thank you so much for being here with me today. At the end of the meditation, I'll say thank you, and then we'll leave in silence. So let's be still. Thank you. Thank you.